Yeah, there was one extra button. We're going to refresh it a couple times.
Try that. That's right. Yep.
Our stream only just started now. So everyone who's joining us this way might want to hear from you.
Yeah, hello.
What's up?
In fact, you're with us here. And that's okay. So to you and Beth and Melissa, we just did two simple things. We did what we call a 4 on the floor. This is counting to 4 bass notes. Then we added one thing at the end. It sounds like 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. So go back to the bass, and do 4 counts. 1, 2, 3. Trace the bass. Just bass. 2, 3. Just right in. Yeah. So think of it as every time you play 4 counts, it's the end of the idea. And for what we just did, we did that version with 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we repeated that for a while, and I added a part on top. We'll do that later. But then we also did it the same idea, but 2 counts. 1,
And get your feet on
and 1.
There we go.
And 1. So let's go to this one. Keep going. 1, 2, 3. And top. Switch to 4 now. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3. One more time, then I'm going to add my part. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now switch to 2. 1, 2, and 1. Nice. I'm going to add my part. 1, 2, 1. Cool. So hopefully that just caught you up to what we were just trying, and it seems so simple. You can have 4 bass notes, and then you have an extra note after that's half the timing. So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, and it fits in between the 4 and the next one. If you don't want to count, you don't have to. You can just think about seeing your hands right, 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 left, right, 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 left, and you can feel like it's a bigger idea. It's 4 counts. When you do the shorter one, right, right, left, right, left, right. Very similar, right? But what does it feel like? Does it feel like it's a little more, 4 counts seem more relaxed, or more energy? What do you think? 2, 3, as opposed to, let's see, like the rest of the way together. The one that turns around faster. Typically, that's like what we would feel. So the cool thing is you can put this together, already create a piece where you're talking about 2 kinds of notes: bass notes, on talk about specifics with technique, but it's nice just to play. And so if you feel like the beauty of a hand drum, and it was something that Sandy mentioned earlier about the joy of playing hand drums, and I was just reminiscing and talking about, after a question was asked about what's the purpose of today. And I sort of feel like there's a multitude of things you could do with teaching drums, but it's more about, I think, respecting for me three things. One is how you play, is what you play, and I think the other one is this incredible experience of playing together, right? And the actual tone that we create with some simple ideas. So if you think of the 4 counts being one idea, and the 2 count idea being the other idea, you put it together, you could do 2 things of 4, and 4 things of 2. Back to the 4. Suddenly you got a musical idea. What do you think? You want to try that?
Absolutely.
So basically 2 of the longer kind of phrases and 4 of the shorter phrases.
So 4,
And,
4, 2, 2, 2.
Yeah, 4, 4, and then 4 twos. Equals 8. Each side of it equals 8 counts. So, anybody have questions, or you just want to go back?
Could we divide it in half? What would happen if one group was doing?
We'll have to try it next.
Yes. Big face here already, guys.
So
Very good, very good.
I think
like
Nicole, I'm going to need you to tell us what are we going to start with, the 4s or the 2s? 4s. Okay, so 2 4s and then 4 2s.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3, go. With that in mind, you got a simple structure that you can count if you want to, or you can feel it. But I think the anchor is the fact that the right hand, in my case, it could be someone who can do the opposite. It could be the left hand. I guess I'm mirroring, be having to mirror Yvette or Melissa. That would be the right hand would be my left. If I'm mirroring it, so it would look like this. Right. But I think I'll stick with playing it the way we feel it and hear it for now, but just keep that in mind if you're confused by that. But the thing I really appreciate is if we thought of the 4 and the 2 and put together and suddenly we create that phrase, we haven't even talked about the kind of sounds, right? So one of the things I wanted to do is get into next to talk about just 2 sounds and a kind of a important element of what makes these sounds work. And there will be variations, but I think of some important little facts I'd love to share with you. One is, when you're playing hand drums, you don't want your hands and fingers to be tight together all the time. There's a purpose for that with some of the sounds we make, but it's actually physically, harder on us than having a natural space between your fingers. Tucking a thumb, though, is essential for the shape of a drum, right? So that your thumb isn't hitting the edge. So you can imagine if there's one thing I could give you to remember after today, it would be that. Tuck your thumb, but let your fingers be naturally spaced. So you're not thinking about this closed space where you have no air between your fingers. So with that in mind, the bass note is one of my favorite sounds. And in this case, I've got this wooden shell and wooden surface on top. Where the other ones we have either fiberglass or wood shells with some are, well, that's fiberglass?
This is what I do.
That's wood, but that's fiberglass skin?
Nope, nope, it's not.
That's natural?
Yep.
I think all these drums have natural skin, so,
Yeah.
but that's not a wooden drum, that's actually fiberglass.
Yeah.
And then the djembes are wood. So we have a mixture of wood, but all of these drums have skins except for this one. And the beauty of it though is that the technique, you can make any surface sound different with how you make contact, and not just the initial contact, but how you finish with the sound. With that in mind, the bass notes seem like people just hit the middle, but there's some really cool things to imagine an image of your palm of your hand being like a suction cup, not just the fingers. So on a djembe, you can play it this way, but listen to the difference. Get a little bit thicker, denser tone when you can use the palm and the meat of your palm. And I think of this idea of a suction cup sticking. A good way to practice the bass, we're going to try that together. Just let your arm be heavy, nice and heavy, and you're going to imagine that your hand just sticks to the drum, and it's like a little circle getting sucked into the drum. And that can happen sometimes. You can see how it's going to lift up a little bit. It's not the only way to play, it's one idea. Now, if you don't do too much motion, just a little one, and then after we make contact, make suction cup right after you lift off the drum. It's two opposites. You think I'm getting sucked into the drum, then I'm lifting off. So arm is heavy, a little bit of a suction cup idea, and then after that, you just try to think of your hand naturally coming off the head. It's like a bit of a rebound. So you can think about a lot of little things, but I like the idea that this could be the way you make contact, and a conga, it could be the whole outside of your hand, as opposed to that. And it's amazing that I feel like a djembe and this conga, fat conga, the bass tone sounds, in my opinion, better with the palm. If you're using outside the hand, it works great for congas. But rather than worrying about too much, I think the goal is to feel like heaviness and that stickiness to the palm of your hand, if nothing else. And over time, you'll find that it gets easier to sort of feel that connection to your head. And then, think about the conga staying down and the djembe coming off. This is conga sticking. That makes sense. So, now everyone's doing so sticking, lifting. And think about the outside of your hand being that suction cup in the conga. Yes. Is that cool? So, well, that's things you may not even want to think about. Little details like that could increase the way that you can generate more earthiness, more of a groundedness to that bass note. That being said, the open, you can think of it being the base of your hand being around the edge of the drum when you make contact. So, bass note here, open note here. Closer. You can think about the bass note being in the middle, the open note, base of your fingers being on the edge. And it might be a little weird, but even if you stay on the head, if your fingers are relaxed, they're just going to bounce off. Yeah, and you can just let your hand, you know, point
That's good.
yes. And yeah. And be like, thumb a little bit, not just beside, just being as round as possible. Think about this being the edge. Almost like your hand takes the shape of the right. So we're going to do a mini recap. We'll go over the two different patterns with a little bit of this in mind, and I like to simplify is always a good thing. You can think of your hand taking the shape of the edge of the drum a little bit, and you get better contact with the fingers from the base of the knuckle up. So basically you're talking about this connection as opposed to that or a little too far in. Listen to the difference. Almost like a cleaner, more resonant sound. And if you do the bass note, in this case I'm lifting off. It's got hopefully a lot more resonance than if I. And if you get the difference in tone, it's got more energy, right? And it has that, for me, it's a feel too as you play. And I will introduce one thing for you guys today I really think is important. It's called heel toe, but it's related. It's that if you're good at bass notes, good at opens, heel toe can actually make a little more sense in terms of how it feels, because you're getting a little bit of this feeling in it, a little bit of this feeling in it, but it's in one hand. And the goal, I think, for today is, with the time we have left, is that we feel comfortable playing together on those patterns, incorporating some of the ideas of how to play, just the bass and the open, and then branching out to another beat that we're going to use the heel toe in. And if we get them, we're going to put it together. We'll have a little piece we do together at the beginning of our set at 8 o'clock. Is that okay? Yeah. If you can do that with us, and you can play at home. But I know it's. I'm going to see if there's anything on the screen for chat. Let me just check here. Hello. Oh, I see. It's James messages us today. I apologize for the technical thing, but if you have a question, just type on the chat for me, and I'll have a peek in a second. But the goal is, if you think of what we just talked about, and you think the right hand, and both these beats, the right hand's always what? Always the bass, yeah. So this never stops, whether you're doing 4 or 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. What defines it is that left hand note, where it comes in, and how often. Anyone have any thoughts or questions? I'm going to get into.
You're talking bass and what do you call this?
Open. Yeah.
Bass and slap.
Yeah, we'll talk about the slaps or the heel toes. Yeah, we can do that. The key for me is to you do the bass and opens, and we think about the pattern. Just see what happens when you think of what we talked about with the location of the open and the bass note. How you can make it look like a suction cup for the bass note, even if on the djembes we lift off. Lifting off doesn't mean you have this brushing connection. You want to have a heavy weight with that bass note, so to feel like you're into the drum, like you're stuck to the drum before you lift off, actually makes the most of the resonance and acoustics of the drum. And I think for that open sound, just getting comfortable, even with hand position. Say your tone doesn't sound like the way you want it to. If your positioning is there, it will get better and better. And the goal is to not think of all things at once. Cycle it. Here, I'm going to play this beat. And right now, I'm going to focus on my bass note. And later, I'm going to focus on my open note. So don't worry about trying to do it all at once. And let it be something you carry with you as you play in coming weeks, months, years. That think of the idea of suction, and think of the idea of also naturally letting your hand come off. And the fact that you might not remember this, or you might, that congas bass notes are often stuck to the head. Djembes often come off the head right away. And then there's so much variation to this. People teach different ways. There's India tabla drumming, which I play a little bit. There's Latin drumming, the bombo technique. I probably mix that in. And I'm not that definitive about why I'm playing when. It's about how it sounds and feels, right? But in the process of that, there's also those great times where you just do something very straightforward, very simple, and you stick to it, and your discipline is to really make everyone feel as connected as possible every note. And when you play with a bunch of people, you feel that resonance. It makes it feel even more valuable, right? So on that note, let's play just a tiny bit, go through the 2 4s and 4 2s for a little while, and then we'll move on to the heel toe. Does that sound okay? Unless you have another question. And I'm just going to double check my time. We're perfect, we've got 3 minutes. So, who wants to come in?
1, 2.
Yeah, you can, sure. You want to go 1, 2? Okay.
Or A, B.
You can do 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's at least four numbers.
Take it away.
All right. 1, 2, 3,
Great speed.
4.
And switch to 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Back to 4. Everybody say it with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Now 2, 1, 2, Think about the bass notes. Section cut. Big finish.
Very nice. Super clean, super clean.
Yes. So it's good, and I like the fact that nobody, even if something doesn't change right away for you, the feel is there, and you just get back on board with the feel, but you never lose the beat because in a way, even if you're not playing what you think you're supposed to be doing, you're tapping the drum in the right place for that earthy downbeat, right? And I love the fact that when we do the heel toe, which we should just jump right into, I love the fact that it's just a really mysterious way to kind of create what I call ghost notes. And we just did something that's quite defined. It's very specific. Ghost notes are like those tiny notes that you hear in between. So if I can kind of show you one idea, and we'll be playing it later. So there's this beat, it'll be in our drum solo. And then but when I'm doing that beat for a while, and these guys start soloing, I go into some ghosting. And it's heel toe. And with bass notes, a little bit of opens, and there's a lot of ways to talk about how opens can be all over the place. They can be fingertips, they can be full finger, they can be closed, because you can stand a little longer. It's very intricate, but
You mentioned the word slap before. That's variation.
slap comes from that, yeah. And the thing is, heel toe really helps your tone for slap. So slap is a weird feeling. It can sting, right? So if you get better at playing, there's even a bomb slap. That feeling, a lot of the heel toe, I think gives us a lot better connection with sort of the timing of how to make a slap sound good. But it's a tough thing. It takes years sometimes to get to the point where that every time you play it, it's consistent. You can,
How long did it take to get your slap?
I still work on
and one day
A year.
one day it's there, one day it's not.
Yeah, exactly.
It could be the air temperature, it could be the feeling of your drum that day, it could be the room you're in. It's incredible how all those factors affect us. But again, connecting to the way the drum feels when you play is for me, it's always my way to kind of tune in better to my tone with playing. So for the heel toe, really simple idea. I'll show here first, I'll move closer to the camera. But I always think about heel toe, the key for me is always thinking about the back of your hand will be the first note to play. And think of it as two things. You start with your right hand, fingertips, and yeah, like that. And just think about, imagine your arm's heavy and the heel hits the drum and your fingertips flip up. So watch. So I give people two ideas. And you can stay on the drum for now. Stay on the drum. Let your arm just drop. Like that. Yeah, that's it. And then when it drops, think of your fingers hitting on the ceiling. Almost like if you're trying to hit something hard, right? So be like going to do is drop the right hand, okay? And then you're going to come back to how you started. Then drop the left hand, and come back to how you started. Is that cool? It's going to seem kind of funny, right? It's a little exaggerated to get started with this, right? The hands are a little bit higher up than they need to be. And so what I was going to say is, forget about rhythm. Think about what I call the pattern or the order of how you're moving your body. The right hand is going to go heel, toe. So basically your heaviness is there, it allows you to get more energy in that heel. And imagine you're hitting something with your fingertips at the back, so you get that two ideas to help you with that. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. That's it, yeah. So you could go, so many ways you can practice this. You could just go back and forth. Okay? Or you could do, simplify it in terms of just 2 notes per hand. Heel, toe, and the other hand. Heel, toe. And you can practice this anywhere. You can practice this on your leg. You can practice this on a dinner table.
I practice while driving sometimes.
Yeah.
If I'm stuck on the highway going to Toronto, I'll do heel toes on my dashboard.
Did you practice it when you use your shoes?
No. I mean, when you stuck on the floor, well,
Okay.
I never said anything.
Let me see. I will say. No questions.
Let's get back. Let's go.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm just gonna. You guys can follow along.
There you go. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna sit here to talk about heel toe for the people from afar. And again, you think of it. The idea is that you're starting at the pads or tips of your fingers, not like way out here, but sort of this part. You're resting there, and all you're gonna do is think about your arms heavy, and as your palm of your hand drops, your fingertips hit this little mini ceiling. And that is important because if you feel like you've got a really good beginning, coming back to the toe is easy. So heel, toe, heel, toe.
You straighten your hands. There we go. Think of it kind of like
Heel.
here. And just, yeah, keep your hand like that. And then
That's right, Sandy. That's right.
nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So I hope that helps to.
Yeah. It takes getting used to, but super valuable. Super valuable.
So, and for us to participate together in this idea, don't get worried if it doesn't work for you with heel toes. There's 2 options. You're going to do 2 groups of 4. And the heel toe will either be bass notes, or it could be bass notes, 2, 3, 4, or it could be heel toe, toe. And then there's 4 opens. So imagine, to really simplify, imagine you just do bass notes first, bass. And actually, can we do this? So we're going to do 2 on the right, 2 on the left. So watch. To the right, to the left, then alternate. Right, left. Say it out loud. So say right, right, left, left, and alternate. sound helps. Sound helps you feel more connected to the rhythm, and the shape of the rhythm is really affected by how loud you play, how your tone, how clear it is that the tone you're trying to create. But the other thing that's really good is the feeling of space between the notes is even. and everyone's doing really well with that. So just a little faster, and I'm going to give you a chance. You can do the doubles, alternate here, or do all alternating. I'm happy either way. Okay? So let's try it. 1, 2, and 1, 2, ready, go.
No, your arm.
Which one? The right hand never changes. So what? So if I was doing the bass notes, watch, I'll take this hand away.
Correct.
That's the speed of my right hand, right? So bass, 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 open, 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 bass, bass. I go to the bass notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So that never changes. So that's okay. I hope that helps whoever said it. It's weird talking to a camera. Maybe this will be also an opportunity that if anybody, I'll check in with them after. Doesn't get the stream properly or something's not working, we'll do a Zoom call. We'll go over this stuff afterwards. Maybe when I'm back home in a couple of days. Yeah. So, but I'm always happy, to share just that one thing that's really incredible is that if you're in a hand drum and there's one thing that you want to know how to connect to people, what is the downbeat? It's usually the thing you feel in your foot. What represents a hand drum? A bass note, right? And once you get that, there's so many things you can do around it. And I know it takes some time to feel more fluent with it, but even if at the simplest level, if that's all you play, you could fit into a lot of incredibly crazy drum circle events. And even just tonight, when we play together, and you're going to think about this. Switching to that too. That'll be one idea. 1, 2, 3. We'll do that. And we switch to the next idea and be like, the way that makes it more exciting. So imagine you switch to the bass. The bass is the opens now. So we build the idea. anything like that, very specific rhythms that you've done?
She says she practices Yantra on her steering wheel sometimes. So yeah, that's cool. It's African. West African.
Bach, the Judy,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
Freeman.
Okay.
Yeah. So West African. So.
And what about, what are you pulling? Oh, okay. Very nice. So you've already done the heel toe. That's good. And you've done a little bit before?
Very good.
Okay, well that's good. But the cool thing is that the great, thing that's easy to remember about hand drumming is that it's divided into two parts, often right and left, and you can do singles or doubles. I didn't get into it too much yet today, but the beauty of drumming in general is singles and doubles on their own are cool. And if I do that, if you don't mind, just a little bit quicker as a demonstration, just give the sound. It's just alternating forward. I did mix it up a bit, but that's just a little bit of a sample of how you can turn that into more musicality and more shape. A little bit different sounds, a little bit different emphasis in the volume.
Can we try that?
What's that?
Can we try that speed?
Could. You should.
Let's do it.
But
yes.
just before we do, I'll add one more little thing. So imagine you think of the idea of starting with singles. That's singles. If you go to doubles, same rhythm, but it's got a different character just because each hand, slightly different character.
A little different shape of the emphasis.
You can imagine if you're wanting to take a shape of a beat and you want to keep it generally the same but have variations. That's one of the ways. That's a little sample, but if you get into the heel toe, it just opens the door even more. And that's just a neat thing to kind of feel. It's just kind of, but it's sort of like this fluid. There's a really fluid feeling to how heel toe can take the real definitive notes and start to make it more mysterious. And I think ghost notes and drum set, we call it fill-ins, is a beautiful way to take what are really definitive ideas and start to add layers. And you can do it as a single player. You can feel it as a group. But sometimes as a group we keep it simple because there's so much going on. You don't need it. It's so much energy in just playing simple ideas. So that's what I was going to say. Simple ideas can feel so good.
Especially when you have more than one part too. There's oftentimes a lot of traditional drum circles. You'll have multiple drum melodies.
Well,
So if you overplay, sometimes that gets in the way.
Yeah.
Something gets in the way.
yeah, and I thought I was going to say we have just over 10 minutes. So what I like to do is what Sandy suggested is can we try that faster? My idea was that if you get faster, what's the one thing that you know you can focus on? What's on the beat? Right hand. So in the right hand, if you take out the left, it doesn't sound so great. That's it. That's what it's doing. So let's try it. This is a perfect segue because this is going to be something similar to what I wanted to do. I'll just go with this. What we're going to do is you guys can do a little slower, and we're going to do the whole thing. You guys just play the right hand. And we're just like, okay. So let's start. summarize all the beats that you can play without stopping. And we'll leave the heel toe till the end. So imagine this. Imagine you're going to just think about the first thing you learned, the 4 counts. So there's so much we could add, but I think for time, are you guys interested in trying that with us? Start our little set in half an hour?
Sure. Great.
And would you be okay? Like I'll be back there. Sam, you can hold and Conrad there, but maybe we can just have one drum up here for you guys to join in. We can move the seats quickly.
Yeah.
Cool. That way, you're not all on your own up here. I'll be back there. But I think the goal is I'll call it out when we're doing it. And I just want you to feel like it's a chance to cycle it a few times. And every time we cycle it, I might add something, and then maybe when we finish, we'll finish, just so you know, we'll finish with this. So you can kind of just settle and feel like we're together, and no matter what's happened, we're just together. And at the end, I'll add a couple things, and we'll do some glorious ending.
Like a quick tip too, if anybody feels like they get lost at any point, just go back to before. Even if we're playing faster, because you'll still be in time with the every second beat.
Yeah.
So even if we're playing faster, if you do the faster part for a second, still in time. So if you ever get lost, just go back to before. Yeah. So we totally fine.
Yeah.
Easy.
That's
never-
that
yeah,
fundamental feeling.
Never lose it.
Yes.
Well, it's okay to lose it.
Oh, of
Just
course.
not tonight.
Yes.
There's one thing
Yes.
I like to end with, goes like this.
Okay. Well, what do we do that? That'll be the big finish. You guys ready? And you can do. You gotta do your thing. Yeah.
I'll say one of
Yeah. We can do that. Okay, we'll do it. You might have to cue us, but we'll do this for a little while. People will think that we're just in a long blue.
Yeah. We're up.
I always go.
Okay. We'll try. We'll try. Great.
One time, ready,
Okay,
go.
one time. That is fantastic.
Love it. Love it.
So,
Great ending to me. Great ending to me.
Beth, if you're with us, hope that you feel like you can do it in Tomori. And maybe what you'll have to do is you'll have to do some kind of video of yourself when we do the piece later. So 8 o'clock sharp, we'll do a little intro. We'll probably end up playing for a few minutes total, and we'll do that. And then afterwards, all I was going to say is, I want you guys to do a little bow and just say thanks for being part of the night. And it's also, yeah, we can just shift the drums around at that point. So.
Do I take them back to the seat there?
Yeah, you could do that. You could just move them. There won't be that many people here. Probably maybe most 20. I'm guessing less than that. I know what we can do is just move. We'll leave the drums like this for now. I'll move the extra ones over there. And then, yeah, I agree. We're going to move yours back. You got 2, right? So maybe.
I'll put my camera back.
Yeah, come on. Maybe leave it there for now. But you just move it back and move this one back.
Cool.
We'll
I
clear
would
it.
like to hear what this thing sounds
Over, Grimmie.
Yeah.
like. Oh, what?
Siggies.
Sicky, sicky.
Yeah. I'm
Does anybody have any last minute questions?
I'm just going to message Beth and see if she.
Anybody have any questions before we're done?
Starting here at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Enjoy the show.
I'm gonna take my djembe back.
Sounds good?
Yeah. That wasn't the numbers.
Cool.
You guys, so all I was gonna say too is if you ever want to like ask questions or something, my email will be there. Send me a message. It's easy to do a quick call, and I'm not in the area that often, but when I am, it's always like an opportunity. We can try and do something like this more often. But the heel toe, one thing I was gonna say, I'm always happy to give you some more tips on that to just keep playing it. And over time, one of the best things about it, I think, is how satisfying it is to be able to use the heel toe in the middle of things to change something that you think you played 1,000 times and go, wait, it sounds a lot different. It's the same beat, and it could be something as simple as alternating heel toe and
Is that African or another?
Afro-Cuban.
Afro-Cuban.
Yeah, I think heel toe is a lot more prevalent with South American hand drumming. I don't see it in traditional African drumming as much.
Actually, I think they do it a little bit in South Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe what do you think?
I
See much
could be
heel
wrong.
toe in the playing? A lot of people?
I think more in like the Conrad playing, but
Yeah.
not so much in the djembe playing, but I mean like heel toe can work on
I mean, the conga drum, although the congas are Afro-Cuban, the origin drum of it would have originally been African too, right? So a lot of the sounds I put on it are often just adapted from that culture as well, right? So if you're listening in most modern context, you'll usually see people who play either South American style or Afro-Cuban. That's where you usually see the heel toe. But I definitely suggest players do it.
So I did something called Village Music Circle.
Yeah.
And very interesting. And this would work in well because there are different spaces in the music.
Oh, yeah.
Some people listen to
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why don't we, I'm going to shift it back, but I want to say thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's just a really interesting thing with life being attached to years. Now, so much of life moved to this idea of technology and sharing things that way. And not very often get to, like, we keep in the summer for this again, but not been a lot of time the last few years to actually say, hey, sit down and do something together. These guys are playing figuring out models or
Yeah, I think that's
show.
Yeah.
So that was the first time at all.
First time about 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you last year.
That was, yeah, that's right.
And that was it. Otherwise, it's been different.
Yep.
It's great that you share a line with something. Like that, you don't feel the sound. It's never going to be the same. It'd be very difficult to mimic that. So today, we're lucky we have the equipment we have. I don't know. I'm going to hopefully get a response from everybody that they heard us okay. I'll message Beth.
It was an Ajax region. Yeah. But he's from here originally.
Yeah, I see you.
I grew up in Scarborough.
Oh, I was in Scarborough for 5 years.
There you go.
So, here's
Scarborough.
an idea, Sam. You guys, you feel like everything else is set up for you?
Yeah, it's got a bunch of You're talking about slap tone for, you know, the new stuff.
So we'll leave generally you're after the same tone and everyone's but it's the same thing. Cool. I didn't stop the stream yet. I was waiting to see if Beth responded, but she didn't. I'll just say thank you for joining us. And I guess for the next part, you guys have already connected that?
Oh, I'm gonna ask Sky. Hold on. Don't stop it yet. Because the performance bit needs to go on the same link, right?
The performance will be, same link.
I'm afraid if you stop this, you can't go to use the same link anymore.
Oh, I see.
Oh, that was